Well, thanks for joining us. Associate head coach Jason Herter. Broncos are coming off a split with some familiarity for you at Minnesota Duluth. I guess for you, just talk about the emotions of that series. Obviously, Duluth was a place you had a tremendous amount of success. It's home for you, and what you saw from the Broncos last weekend.
Well, first of all, I'm here to win. And it was very emotional the day that we won. It was also emotional in a different way the day we lost. My relationships on that team have to do mostly, obviously I've worked with Coach Sandlin for 9 years. We're going to be friends forever, but it's those recruiting relationships. A lot of those kids we recruited I've known since they were 15 years old. So in some ways it's nice to see them getting better at hockey and doing the things that I knew they could do as a recruiting standpoint, but as a opposing coach standpoint, I also thought that our team was well prepared because I know how Duluth plays, and obviously Coach Ferschweiler's been around a long time, and he knows how they play. Teams like Duluth and teams like us, we don't change a whole lot. We just try and get better at what we are.
Broncos go to Denver this week. 4-0 on the road this season. Denver has always been a tough trip for the Broncos. What do you take from your history in the league and coaching and to bring up there in a tough place to play?
It is a tough place to play, and those are always tough travel days too. So there's in my opinion, there's an energy level that has to be maintained, and it's going to be very important in Denver because of how they play, where we have to make sure that we get pucks in behind on their D. We know we're going to have to weather some storms, so our D-zone structure is going to have to, in my opinion, improve, and it will keep improving every week. And when we get our chance to put pressure on their defensemen, we need to let them know that they're playing against the Broncos.
It's going to be a fun matchup with two of the top offensive players in the conference, in Ethan Frank and Carter Savoy going at each other. Handling the D. What do you tell them about a special player like that and how to contain him?
Well, just like how we coach trends and not plays. I think that it goes the same. You need to be aware of certain players and some of their tendencies, but we can't change who we are and how we approach games because of one player. On the power play, when they're on the power play and we're penalty killing, it's a little different. But our 5-on-5 structure, it's more about how we play consistently versus watch out when he's on the ice because he's going to, I don't want our guys to be passive. I want our guys to keep moving forward for what our plan is.
Being 4-0 on the road, how do you kind of keep that momentum going? Obviously, different teams than what we play in conference, but this one's a big one for the Broncos.
Well, every team in our league is a big one for the Broncos. I think it's a great test every weekend. Our kids need to get better in practice for the weekend. It's only going to get harder. And once again, I'm just a believer, and I know I got this from Coach Ferschweiler when we coached in the past, that structure and maintaining who you are at all times, as best to your ability, your team has a chance for success. You want to change who we are and not put the effort forth of individual effort and team effort. You see that on the score sheet as well.
I guess final question, you've been on the other end of the Lunatics in the past. How does it feel to be on the quote-unquote right end of them this year?
It's really fun, and even as an opposing coach coming to the building, it's all you want as a coach is for your kids to have a great college experience, right? Through hockey, through their social life, through the people that they meet, through going to opposing rinks and seeing the fun people have in other places as well, so you're not so just in your little area. And I got that a lot in Minnesota, where Minnesota's in their own little bubble as far as hockey goes. But when they come here, and when I came here, it's no different than coaching junior hockey and the way it used to be going into Lincoln's rink. Lincoln was a fun place to play. You used to sit there as a junior coach and look down at your guys. They have this light show with skull and crossbones, and you're just seeing your 15 and 16-year-olds shaking. And I was like, just go play hockey. It's just a light show. Well, here it's just fans, and it's loud, and it's energy. But at the end of the day, you just still got to play your game, right? So it's a great learning experience as an opposing player, I imagine, trying to fight through that, because if they're eligible and capable of moving on in the future, they're going to get that in every rink.
Ty, the Broncos are coming off a split against number 4 Minnesota Duluth. What did you take from that series, and what did you learn about the team?
Yeah, you know what? We had a good weekend against Duluth. The first game was also we played really well. We got in behind their D, kept it real simple, and we ended up winning that game. Then the second game, I don't know if we were caught off guard or anything, but we didn't play as well as we did the first night. So Yeah, that's kind of what happens. You don't play to your top level every night.
You're sophomore. Obviously you were recruited by Coach Murray and a bit of a different assistant coaching staff before you got here. I guess take us through August when you learned that, Coach is stepping down and Pat Ferschweiler is moving up to be the head coach.
Yeah, you know what? I was at home when I found out, and I was very surprised because August, season's a month away. So, we were all very surprised. But saying that, we were all very excited to have Fersch as our new head coach. He's a player's coach. He likes to listen to us. But in saying that too, we also took a lot of notes from Murray's book, and we'll take that and learn from that forever.
Obviously, this year also different. You get to play in front of fans. You didn't get to do that much last year. What was it like that Ferris State game? You step out on the ice and you see the Lawson Lunatics for the first time in your career.
Yeah, you know what? That was pretty crazy. Just stepping out even for a warm up, and it's already pretty packed. And yeah, it's definitely surreal going out there, and even just getting called out to the blue line for announcements. You're shaking going up to the blue line, trying not to stumble. It's pretty special. When you say that we have the best fans in college hockey, it's pretty hard to beat that.
Broncos head on to Denver this weekend. When's the last time you played at altitude?
I don't think I've ever played in altitude before, so this will be first one for me.
Has the team discussed that? I mean, obviously we got quite a bit of veterans that have been there before, but Denver's a really tough place to play, and then the altitude always factors into that.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, but we're just going to focus on ourselves, and we're going there to get 2 wins, and that's about it for us.
Your line has done quite a few good things this year. I guess just talk about what you, Paul, and Jason do so well together.
Yeah, you know what? We us two really work well together, in my opinion. We really like to get behind their defensemen and get the cycle game going, go east-west, low to high, stuff like that. And we just like to keep our game super simple. That's when we're most effective, our line. And when we just get pucks to the net and bang home rebounds, it's our bread and butter in our game.
On the power play, sometimes you're tasked with being in front, that little drop-down play to you. When did that first kind of appear in coaching? I think it was last season, and how have you worked on that role?
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of just ended up happening last year. Got an opportunity in the power play, and we worked on it with Fersch a lot. He's our PP guy, so it just kind of happened, and I've taken that role, and I've been working on it every single day, just trying to get a little better at it, and I like that role, just kind of get pucks back when there's loose behind the net and get right back to the front of the net.
When you line up for a face-off, how comforting is it knowing that 70% of the time it's going to go back to one of you guys? Yeah,
you know what? Paul is an incredibly good face-off man, and that also helps us offensively and defensively. But in the O-zone, it's really nice knowing that 3 out of 4 draws are going to be one clean back to your D, and you're getting an offensive zone chance, which is really nice too.